Hello everybody and welcome back to Bring Your Own Popcorn, and welcome to day number 11 of the 12 Days of Christmas, where I watch and review a Christmas film that I have never seen before. And in today's video we'll be watching and reviewing for the first time The Holdovers. This is a film that has been on my watch list for absolutely ages. I've been wanting to watch this one for so long. I remember when it came out, all my friends at university telling me how great it was, and for some reason I never checked it out. I'm going to pretend that I was saving it for the 12 Days of Christmas, which is definitely a lie, by the way, just to make myself feel a bit better for not watching it sooner, because this one has been on my list since it came out, really. I know the main actress in it won an Oscar for her performance, and I know Paul Giamatti, can't pronounce that, Paul Giamatti's in it, but other than that, I don't really know anything plot-wise about the film. I'll be honest, I didn't really even know it was a Christmas film until I was googling the films that I was going to do for the 12 Days of Christmas this year. So yeah, very excited to get into this one, so without further ado, let's watch The Holdovers. Okay, so here we have The Holdovers, which was a BAFTA film 2 times winner. Let's read what it's about. The Holdovers follows a curmudgeonly, I can't pronounce that word, instructor at prep school who is forced to remain on campus during Christmas break to babysit a handful of students with nowhere to go. Okay, that sounds really interesting actually. I hope it's a nice sweet movie about friendship. That's what I'm really hoping for this one. I hope it's a nice cheery watch. But yeah, really excited to get into this one. I've heard nothing but great things. So let's watch it. The Holdovers.
History is not simply the study of the past, it is an explanation of the present.
See, when you say it that way and throw in some pornography, it's a lot easier to understand.
No matter what you are.
I'd like to propose a toast to my 2 unlikely companions.
Are you trying to lick down my shirt?
No. Yes. You're gonna get me fired. This is your Rubicon. Do not cross the Rubicon.
The Holdovers.
Okay, so I just got done watching The Holdovers for the first time, and yeah, like I said at the start of this video, this film has been on my list for ever since it kind of came out. Ever since it came out, my friends at uni have been telling me how great a movie it was and how much they actually think I would enjoy it. And yeah, I wish I'd watched this film a lot sooner because I absolutely adored it. I thought it was a fantastic film. It's actually a bit of a flawless movie. There isn't actually a lot of things that I can pick out wrong with this movie, at least like without nitpicking. It's really faultless. I love when a film deals with the theme of unlikely friendships. For example, my favourite movie of all time is The Karate Kid, and Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san form an unlikely bond, and this film definitely deals with that in such a sweet and charismatic and charming way. I guess you could make the argument that the film's a little cliched and maybe a little melodramatic, but I honestly don't care. I absolutely adored the story of this movie, and I love that the journey both characters went on, and yeah, it was just absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I do think a lot of my love for this film really comes from the relationship, the friendship between the teacher character and the student. I just thought it was beautifully handled, and the 2 actors are doing a fantastic job. I just love the character arcs that both characters went on in this movie, especially Paul Giamatti's character. He went on a really beautiful kind of self-discovery character arc, and I just thought it was really beautifully handled. I thought the film also had a really nice sense of humour to it. It was quite dark in some places, but I've got a dark sense of humour, so I could get really on board with that. And yeah, there were just some really nice, sentimental, sweet moments that really managed to hit me in the feels, and yeah, I just thought it was really just gorgeous. That is the word that I would use to sum up this movie. Absolutely gorgeous. I will say I maybe thought the film felt a little bit like there were too many things crammed in, too many story ideas crammed into the one movie. For example, the first act, it really makes you think it's going to go down this way, and then they go in a completely different route, and then they do that a couple of times, where you think, okay, we've got fully into the story now, this is where it's going to go, and then they kind of subvert expectations, which I guess you could argue is a good thing, but I would get myself settled in to watching this story unfold, and then it would quickly switch to a completely different story, which I thought was a bit strange. But in saying all that, all the stories that they try and tell in this movie are handled perfectly. For example, I thought the film was going to be, at the start at least, how the I think it's six students, it might not be the correct number, but who all are kind of different in their own way, form an unlikely friendship, and I thought that's where the film was going, and I was really looking forward to seeing that. And then all the other boys just seem to randomly vanish and go away and are written out, which I thought was very, very strange. In saying all that though, it's still a beautiful film. I'm really nitpicking for some criticism on this movie because I thought it was pretty damn near perfect. In terms of the performances, Paul Giamatti completely steals the show here. He is absolutely fantastic in his role. The character arc, as I said, that he goes on throughout this movie is beautiful, and it's just wonderfully handled by Paul Giamatti. He can play the grumpy and he can play the sweet at the same time. He's such a fantastic actor. And he's also got some really good comedic timing as well. I thought he was really funny when he was trying to be in this movie. And the boy playing the main student in the movie, who I can't remember the name of right now, is fantastic. I believe, I might not be 100% accurate on this, but I believe this was his first feature film role ever. And if that's the case, he done a heck of a good job. He's fantastic in this film. I thought the entire supporting cast were just fantastic. Everyone played their role to the highest ability, especially, I can't pronounce, Davine Joy Randolph, I think her name is. I may be absolutely butchering that, but she was fantastic, and I can see why she won an Oscar for her performance in this movie. She is just phenomenal. In terms of direction as well, it's pretty incredible. The cinematography in this movie is just fantastic. It really looked beautiful. I love how the film cemented you in this 70s time period by also making the film not just look 70s aesthetic wise, but even the way the kind of film is printed, it kind of looks like the 70s. Like, there'll be little marks and little grains in the film, and the opening like intros and stuff, like the studio logos, all looked very old fashioned. I loved it. It really made me feel like I was watching a movie from the 70s. I just thought it was directed to the highest ability ever. It was absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, all the shots were amazing, and yeah, I just thought it was a beautiful movie to look at. It was just splendid. And I'm also going to quickly talk about the ending of the film. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending is truly, truly beautiful and has some of the best payoffs I've seen in a movie in a long time. It was just, I just absolutely love this film, and I just cannot wait to rewatch it. It was beautiful. As I said, my only real nitpick is I got into a storyline that would then get stripped away from me, and then into another storyline that would then get stripped away from me. Just a lot of things seem to be crammed into this movie a little bit. But everything was still handled very, very well, so I can't complain too much. Overall, I thought The Holdovers was a damn near perfect movie, and I can see this becoming a future Christmas classic. The film actually gave me real Scent of a Woman vibes, and Scent of a Woman is one of my favourite films ever. So it was nice to see a film fit that same vibe that Scent of a Woman managed to capture. The story's beautiful, the acting is fantastic, and the direction just looks gorgeous. It is a true masterpiece of a movie, in my opinion. I would give it a 9 out of 10, and it gets my recommendation. But that's just my opinion. Please let me know down in the comments what you think of The Holdovers. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just alright? I love to read your comments, and I try and respond to every single one of them. Please join me tomorrow on Bring Your Own Popcorn for day number 12, the final day of the 12 Days of Christmas, where I'll be watching and reviewing for the first time White Christmas. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on notifications, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.